Let's start with 28 Days Later, of course. This movie's fucking awesome. Very like has drama, has some zombie action, but mainly like more drama when you have this guy who just woken up from the hospital and he was saying hello, hello, and like the whole city was so quiet and stuff. But you also have the beginning part of this movie when you have these people breaking into this test lab and want to feed the chimpanzees, and the scientists said you can't let these chimpanzees out because they're infected with rage. You know, like when he's like one of the chimpanzees was chained up and he was seeing violence on TV. So pretty much that's how the outbreak got started, by violent chimpanzees. Wow. That's like the HIV was started from a monkey, right? But everybody says it was from the government. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of like a politically incorrect type of movie, I would say. But anyway, that's how the virus got broken, pretty much. That was the origin of it. But meanwhile, we get the lead character. After that scene, we get the lead character walking through the hospital, wondering what the hell's going on. He's just seeing all these people affected by the dead coming after, like not affected by the dead, affected by the virus coming after him. He doesn't know what's going on. So later towards the movie, but he knows these people are vying to go and kill him. So later he got rescued with these two people, one guy, one girl, and then he's to hang out with those two guys, hang out with the two people, the girl and the guy, and pretty much it's like survival. Later on, with the zombies, I don't know if we could call them zombies or affected people, because I remember it was the director of an Italian movie, and Quentin Tarantino interviewed this famous Italian director. He said, they are not zombies, they are affected. There's a difference. So let's call them affected people, alright? So they were affected, and so pretty much the guy had to survive with the help of the female. The other guy was with the female had to die. He was already infected, so the female was gassed that she killed him, and he told the guy, look, within 20 seconds, he's gonna pretty much kill you. So you gotta act quick, pretty much. And then later on, they meet with these two. Later on, they meet a father and daughter living in an apartment. So, and they end up going with them while battling the affected people. And later on, they had this radio call about going to this place where it's like affected free. The survival to no infection is in this place. So the guy and the girl decide we want to go, and the father and daughter decide we want to go too. So they pretty much travel together, and like you have your zombie action, but it's mainly more like talking part. But it's very entertaining talking because you like how these characters interact with each other. It was pretty cool. And then later on, when they finally to move forward, when they finally found the place, you find that they're run by the military, but it's really no military. It's just like these renegade military troops, and they let them stay, but he told the lead guy in the movie that pretty much I promised my soldier women. So pretty much they want the women. The guy he went out support that. He say we're not gonna live with you if you're gonna disrespect our women, pretty much. So so the soldiers, like, he beat up the guy, he beat up the second soldier. Also, they did not support that, and later on, they were taken to the back of the woods. They were about to be killed. One soldier was killed. The other guy, the lead hero, survived. He was able to escape. And while the soldiers were preparing the women to be mated with the soldiers, later on, the guy comes in, the hero of the movie, the lead actor comes in trying to save. He actually saved the female by releasing one of the zombies, going up against the soldiers, and the soldiers get affected, and then the guy's rescuing the two females while bound the affected soldiers. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil the ending, but you guys already saw this movie. But all in all, Let me just say the delete scenes, and there are three alternate endings for this movie. Let me just say I'm glad the director went with the theatrical ending, because the theatrical ending was more like the happy ending of the movie. The other three endings was kind of like sad endings. So if you see the three alternate ending scenes in the special feature of the DVD. But I say definitely get this movie. Definitely an excellent movie. 28 Days Later, and then we're gonna get to 28 Weeks Later, which is the sequel to 28 Days Later. And let me just say, this is an early movie from an actor that he's very popular now, thanks to him playing Hawkeye for the Avengers, and he's still making a lot of movies. He's getting a lot of love, and that's of Jeremy Renner. And you can see Jeremy Renner in this movie. This is one of his earlier roles, and let me just say, Jeremy Renner pretty much have a big part of this movie, I would say. as it tells later on. I don't want to spoil it too much, but he died a courageous death. Let's just put it like that. But 28 weeks later, we have a new cast of characters. We have this guy who kind of have a burden. He left this woman behind to be attacked with the zombies, and 28 weeks later, you find out that the affected bodies, the affected zombies, you would say, or affected people, end up dying because of starvation, and the military government end up building like the city where everybody can live in peace, and all the affected are destroyed. Um, the lead guy in the movie, the beginning part of the movie, the lead guy so far, finally get to see his children again. They live with him in this new area in Britain when it's like the safe area. The two kids want to go outside the safety zone and try to go back to their own home, and so the sister could give her brother a picture of his mom, what she looked like, and then to find out that the mom was still alive. Later, the government was able to catch up with the two kids, and they also captured the woman, who happens to be the guy's wife anyway in the movie, and the wife was alive. And the wife survived the zombie attack because she had like these two eye color that she's not affected by she will not be affected by the zombies. But even though the zombie blood is still in her, when the father found out that his wife was still alive, he felt bad for leaving her behind. When he kissed her, guess what? The blood was passed to the father, and the father started acting all crazy, and then he was affected by the zombie virus, and he ended up killing his own wife. Now, literally, he killed his wife, and because of the father ended up becoming affected by the zombie, he was able to escape. He affected other soldiers, and then guess what? There was an affected zombie outbreak in the whole safety zone area, and then the soldiers had to shoot everybody pretty much running from the virus because the general, played by another earlier role actor, I think it was Ibus Ivos. Hold on, let me see if I can find the guy's name here. Hold on, I'm gonna find this guy's name. Oh, here it is. Idris Elba. He's like the black guy you see in the sequel to Ghost Rider movie, and I think he was the black guy in the Prometheus movie too, by the way. This is also an earlier role with him, by the way. He played like the general of the whole operation, and pretty much he had no choice but to give orders to kill everybody because anybody could be affected. Well, you got Jeremy Renner, he plays like a sniper guy, and he does have a big role, and he has to shoot a lot of people, but he realizes this is getting out of hand, So, with the few survivors, like the boy, the girl, and the female doctor, they was able to run out of the city because one of the helicopter pilot, a friend of Jeremy Renner's character in the movie, tell him, "Yo, get out, because they're gonna bomb the whole city," and they bombed the whole city, and a few of the survivors was able to get out, but also those few affected zombie people was able to get out the bombing also. So they pretty much have to escape the area and reach the helicopter, and of course, while they're trying to survive, not only against the affected people, but also against the humans that thought they're like also affected, so they pretty much don't want to erase the mistake. Later on in the movie, you got the boy and the sister and the female doctor end up going to like underneath the subway rails, and the woman died, the female doctor died, and later on the sister had to face her own affected dad at the end of the movie, and the affected dad bit his own son, and while the sister killed the dad, the son was bitten, but he was affected, but he wasn't like fully like a zombie, like he didn't went to rage mode, like he has the affected stream blood just like his mom. And then later on in the movie, once they got into the helicopter, you got to see when the boy was affected, but it perceived you pretty much that even though he has the same blood like his mom, but the boy was also like in rage mode in a way. They didn't show you in detail, but the boy was in rage mode, and you get your little twist ending at the end of this movie, which could probably build up for a sequel for hopefully 28 months later, probably. Anyway, the special features are awesome. You got deleted scenes. You even got a cool motion comic book with this movie too. Definitely pick this up. And you see one of Jeremy Renner's earlier role, and Idris Elba's. Can't even say the guy's name right, but he's the black guy from Prometheus. Okay. Anyway, check these movies out 28 days later and 28 weeks later. Peace, guys, and see you later.